Okay, that's good. Uh, eh, eh. Fucking Starfield, Jesus Christ. Fucking, I hate. God damn it. See, I see that fucking cup. Don't think I didn't see that shit.
Yeah, totally accidental that I pointed it to the camera just like this.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And no, the cup disappeared.
Yeah, now it's gone. It's vanished.
Oh.
It's vanished into the void. He'll never be seen again.
Until the next
You'll,
time.
yeah, he'll never be seen again.
Just over
Probably,
here behind the portal.
yeah, probably for the best. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. Hope you're ready for a fantastic show. Hope you're all strapped in. It's gonna be one of those days today. Holy shit. Oh, goodness. Okay. Uh, the Turn-Based Cynics episode 55. 55? 55.
I think that's right.
Pretty sure it's 55. It's 55. Yeah, last week was rough, man. I
Hmm.
didn't get the show done. I didn't get everything done and like good to go till like way late that night. It was super late that night, dude. I was so upset. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, oh man, I had so many things I wanted to do tonight, but then I sat down. I
Hmm.
realized I hadn't gotten anything done for the show, and I'm like, fuck. Well,
Whoops.
that's my evening, making sure this shit gets done. I am not eating that fucking shoe. Fuck that.
You were feeling it staring at you from
Uh,
the corner.
it's not a very great feeling to be on a Sunday evening
Hmm.
after you've dumped a bunch of food into yourself. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're here now. We're getting it done. It's not a big deal. I
Mhm.
wish I could say I had a lot to talk about this week, but I don't.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
a lot of my problem is I don't know what I want to play half the time, like myself, right?
Ah.
So
Mhm.
I'm in this weird spot of like I'd like to stop just jumping around so much and just like pick like one or two games I'm just gonna dedicate it just fuck around with
Mhm. Just
permanently.
get through them.
Yeah, because right now I'm sitting at like 4 or 5 games that I've started up and
Mhm.
okay, yeah. One of the games I'm gonna talk about on our special segment today. I'm not gonna say which game,
Mhm.
but one of them I've actually repurchased on my Take With Me Switch so that I
Ah.
could play it again. And we'll talk about it because this game I have a weird history with, but I had to do it. So I did it. I bought it. It's now on
Mhm.
my Switch. I think that's actually the Switch I have currently sitting on the dock down there, not the one that's usually down there. That's the one on the dock down there is the one I take with me everywhere. So I got to make sure I pull that bitch up off the dock. I
Mhm.
even got I even got pro controllers based on which Switch I want to take with me. Because like
Ah.
if it's my normal one, it's this one. If it's the one I
Mhm.
take with me everywhere, it's that one.
Ah.
I have
At
different,
least you have different colorings there,
yeah, I have
different
different
markings.
based
That
on
makes
what,
it relatively easy to differentiate.
yeah, based on what I want to like fuck around with and what I want to play.
Mhm.
I got I finally went and bought a vertical stand for the PS3 I have in here because I
Oh,
can't fit it
okay.
in the little entertainment system. So I have it sitting next to the entertainment system vertically, so I could indulge in some
Mm.
PS3 games I've been really dying to fucking play. So that's also
Cool.
been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of really still dig that console. Gonna be honest with you, me and the PS3, we just never really parted ways. Only reason we parted ways because I thought I was making up space for myself. Turns out, no, I wanted that bitch back. Oh, did I tell you about the free one I got?
I don't think so. No.
I didn't tell you about the free PS3 I got. The straight up free, like paid nothing for it. I could have sworn I told
Okay.
you. I'm really surprised. I told so many people about this. I could have sworn I mentioned it to you at some point. Are you sure I didn't tell you? I feel like you would
Doesn't
have
ring a bell
remembered.
at the moment, but
I,
when was that? How about?
a couple months
How
ago,
long ago?
maybe.
Huh.
Couple months ago tops. I got a whole ass free PS3 from my assistant manager.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I'm at work. I'm finishing up, and my assistant manager comes in for a shift. He's like, "Yo, Mike, do you like Mike?" He's like, "Mike, do you want a PS3?" And I'm like, "That's a fucking weird ass question, but yeah, sure. How much?" He goes, "No, dude, it's yours." I'm like, "Yeah, easy,
Okay. Yoink.
easiest thing,
Sure.
easiest free shit I've ever taken in my life." Had a bunch of like random games in there and a few other random things. So I took the whole box, took it home.
Nice. Which model?
It's a Slim,
Ah,
not a
the
super
regular
Slim, just
Slim.
a regular Slim.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that one. The one sitting over by my thing is the one I got from him. And then I have one in the living room hooked up to the TV in there if I want to play games in there. And that one is my original one. That's the one I've had all these years. So yeah, I got like a full ass PS3, dude. That was the greatest. That was great, dude. I was like, oh, there are so many games I've had on PS3 that I just have not been able to boot the fuck up. Oh, fantastic. I can finally claim this shit on my shelf is not just for display. There are, one of these days, I really need to do like one of these. I need to do like a collection tour for my channel. I think I really should. I keep talking about
like
this.
a good idea.
I keep talking about that shit, but I've never actually shown anybody. I think the most people ever see is this behind me, and that's like the most people ever know. And there's like an entire wall of shit off camera that no one knows about. Oh. So yeah, that's been cool. I've been putting in more time into Pokemon Red, which I'll be talking about that device as well this episode as well. Been putting some more time into that. I'm pushing like 30 hours now. Fucking hell. I forgot how much time I could put into a Pokemon game, dude. I'm gonna be real with you.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna keep
depends.
I'm gonna keep it 100% with you. I forgot I could put that kind of time into a Pokemon game. I had not really like sat down with the Pokemon game in a really long time. So me playing like Gen 1 and I'm pushing like 30 hours and I only have half the badges. I'm like, shit.
So you're just collecting new Pokemon and leveling them up?
A friend of mine's she wants to kind of be involved with this, so I'm like, here's the plan. I'll get through Red, right? She's like, all right. And then when I start up Blue, because I'm going to have to start up Blue to get the few Pokemon I still require to move to Red, you could start up your Red, and then we'll make sure we both get 150 out of this. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm going to tell you, though, it's going to be work. It's going to be effort. You're going to have to try on this one. This ain't going to be fun, because those last 50 or 60 Pokemon suck dick. So that was cool. I did that shit. Starfield.
You're gonna need a lot of those Ultra Balls. Oh wait, no, those didn't work.
Those.
Right?
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to send you that video. I really. You might not be a Pokemon fan, but I feel like you'd really enjoy that video that explains why Generation 1 is a fucking train wreck. I feel like I
may not play the games much, but stuff like that.
I feel like as a programmer, you'd as a programmer you'd appreciate it. It's the benefit of going from if-then statements to actual mathematics. His brain is
Oh
slowly
boy.
his brain's slowly turning that over in his head like, oh shit. Yeah, so that was cool. I did that. Proud of myself there. So yeah, that's about
Cool.
it, man. I just haven't really can't focus on nothing lately. I did pick up Sea of Stars. I haven't started it, but I did pick it up. It finally came out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Cool.
I know in the different discords like, we'll just play it on Game Pass. It's cheaper that way. I'm like, bitch, I want to play it on Switch. That's the fucking problem. I don't want to play. Like, yeah, Game Pass is great.
Yeah.
I want to play it on Switch.
Mm.
And like, you would rather pay more money? I'm like, bitch, I got the money, so I'm gonna play it on the console I want to play it on. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, you're not gonna guilt me out of buying something. That's ridiculous. I can't even guilt myself out of that shit. Stop it. Anyways, that's been the week, CD.
So, for me, well, last time I already mentioned I've been working on my system, so that's been going on this week as well.
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah, but not because there was anything wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but because I upgraded my current system a little. Now I have it in a fancy new case. It's a bit of a bigger case and nice liquid cooling.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. So it's now nice and quiet and even quieter than before, and still cools the CPU quite nicely.
Yeah, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's one of those Arctic Liquid Freezer 360 units, which
Okay,
means
yeah.
three coolers there.
Oh, that's
3 fans. Mm-hmm.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. 3 12-inch 12-centimeter fans, which is that's
Yeah, that's a bit of cooling.
takes up a decent space. Yeah.
That's a bit of cooling. That's
Mm-hmm.
some
Yeah,
cooling.
and the cooler the cooler itself is also quite thick.
Oh, okay.
The part that
Yeah.
you attach to the top of the case.
Yeah, the block.
The
got it.
radiator.
Yeah.
The block. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I dig it.
Yeah.
Was that something you were
But
already?
that's-
Was that something you were already planning on doing? Or was that just like a
Yeah.
like?
I've
that-
been planning that,
Oh,
but I
okay.
just was thinking of when's the right time, and I just decided, yep, why not?
Okay, I was wondering if that was just one of those sort of weird situations where you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm already here. I'm already.
Yeah, I was kind of already in the, I'm currently working on the system and doing stuff there anyway, so why not do it now? Before I clean up all the things and put them away again. Just, get the new case, get the new cooler, and switch that up. So that's the win there.
All right.
And gaming-wise, I haven't played much, but I have tried out a relatively new Vampire Survivor-like, which is called HoloCure.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard
Which-
the name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've seen. I
Yeah,
haven't looked at it much. I've just heard of it.
You could sum it up by, do you know VTubers?
Oh goodness.
Because that is essentially the scenario is VTuber fans have been taken over by a bad entity, and the VTubers have to save them. And thus you take several of the characters from the VTuber side and steer them around in the stages. At the start, you have a few of them, and then you unlock them either via a gacha mechanic, or you can pay a bit more to unlock specific characters. Yeah. So far, it's nice.
Very
And
cool.
and let's see, this one was free, which is also
Yeah,
pretty good.
anything knows something for free.
Mhm.
Not usually.
Yeah, and for a free game, it's quite nicely done.
All right. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
dig it.
Yeah, that's been my week. Relatively chill.
Okay,
compared to the weather.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Uh.
And also not quite as stupid as the news we're going through as the stories.
Yeah, you're gonna have to. I saw this post about
Uh-huh.
Digital Foundry and Eurogamer, but I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out what was going on because the
Mm-hmm.
clip there
Well,
doesn't make any sense in
yeah, it's
context to what the
that clip is
post
not
is.
directly about that.
Yeah, so I
Because
couldn't.
that's quoting just the General Digital Foundry podcast. Because that's an entire podcast, and that topic is just a part of it. So the original thing was that Eurogamer made a post about don't have a code for Starfield yet, so our review is gonna be late.
Okay.
And in that post, they mentioned, yeah, Digital Foundry has a code, but they can't share it with us.
Why
So
would
that's been a bit of a
Digital Foundry share? Are they the same entity?
no.
No. Okay,
That's the
so
thing, but
why would
it
Digital?
often seems that way. It often seems that way. And also, as the post later in an update clarified, that it was Bethesda that said that to them, that that the code from Digital Foundry can't be shared with Eurogamer. But yeah, this there was a bit of a controversy there because people were not quite uh, getting what the problem is or why they can't use the code, because Digital Foundry stuff is often published on Eurogamer and all that jazz, so people probably think they're closer knit together than they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
now
Yeah.
Digital Foundry made a clarifying post about that.
If people thought there was some sort of deeper association there, I guess maybe I could see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But again, my original point stands. What obligation do I have to give it to you? Because like, unless I work for you, like
Yeah,
I got content to make too. Like I can't.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, the original post on Eurogamer didn't make that very clear, that Eurogamer and Digital Foundry aren't really that connected.
Yeah, we're not close like that. We ain't kin.
Yeah.
Like we just
Essentially, yeah, effectively that. So people probably went ahead and assumed, yeah, they're closer. So it's, I think that's kind of a either an unintentional or intentional keeping stuff less informative on the post, so like not clarifying that.
Yeah, that's
which
such a weird.
might have been intentional or not. I'm not sure.
That's such a weird fucking thing to like not clarify, because like
Yeah.
okay, like let's like even pretending like they never clarified it, right? So like they kept their fucking mouth shut. They did the initial post and they didn't clarify. I would still have the same opinion as I have now. And that opinion is I gotta eat. Like what you mean? Like I gotta eat. Like I gotta get content.
That's the thing. Why even mention that part about Digital Foundry in there?
Yeah,
it's
why
kind
even
of the thing.
Yeah, why even mention me? I gotta.
Why mention that without also mentioning we don't usually share things because we're not one entity.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Such a weird fucking thing to do, man. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That's such a weird thing to even like bring them up in the conversation to begin with. If I honestly, it sounds a little like jealousy, like a little
maybe
jealousy.
like a little bit of stoking the flames or trying to push Bethesda into giving them the code or whatever.
Yeah, but you like don't unless we working together or we associate, don't be keeping my name in your mouth. Like that's it. Like yeah, I got issues with that.
Just make a post. Yeah, we don't have a code yet, so our review is going to be late. Period. That's it.
Fuck it,
yeah.
we can't do it. All right,
Mhm.
so that's a fucking weird ass fucking story if I've ever heard one. Congratulations,
Yeah.
Eurogamer. So, so
And now
Starfield,
we get to the stupid.
yeah,
The really stupid.
Starfield finally came out. Now, I'm not now. I don't have any dog in this battle with Starfield and
Mm-hmm.
its impact or
Yeah.
whatever. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a game I was gonna play anyways. Y'all know me by
Yeah.
now. I only have like one or two kind of games I play, and I stick to my fucking lane. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I will
I might
say
play it at some point, but it's a Bethesda open world RPG, or more or less open world, whatever.
it's a Bethesda
Which, yeah,
game, which usually means if I'm playing on PC, I have to have mods. So I don't really,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely
I don't
that.
want to fuck with it because at that point, I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to do more work than boot the game up and fucking play it. Like to me,
Yeah.
that's just I don't want to do that. That's just not what I'm interested
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not high in my list either.
in. Yeah. So I follow a few people who've been
Mm-hmm.
getting at the game. I've mentioned them a few times. Who was it? Who was the one I? Luke Stevens is one of them I
Mm-hmm.
follow
Yeah.
specifically, and he did some coverage of the game. And his coverage was
Hmm?
like better than middle of the road. How about that? Like, he doesn't like put a number
As
to
in
it. It's
that was
his view of the
his
game, his
yeah,
view
view
after
of the game.
putting
Okay.
like
Mhm.
quite a few hours in. It
Yeah.
was it was better than middle of the road. So
Mm-hmm.
he was
All right.
more positive than in the middle, but still,
Mm-hmm.
even he has to
Yeah.
be honest and say that like kind of getting tired of these Bethesda games coming out with the kind of jank they keep fucking having.
Mm-hmm.
That this is just
Yeah.
it really it it's actually kind of insulting that Bethesda just drops this
Mm-hmm.
shit out like that and like entire quest lines could just be borked.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And that's after how I don't know how many years of development,
yeah, like yeah, that too.
where
So
they don't even have to make a completely new engine because they refuse to do that. Huh.
yeah, because they can make things faster in their creation, and that's such a
Mm-hmm.
fucking weird ass fucking take to have. I can't even believe that's still their take right now. But okay, fine, fuck it. Who am I? I'm not a developer. I don't fucking know. So there've been some pretty hot takes, some interesting takes. I'd like to quote a take from Mr. Jonathan Blow because this fucking take was special.
Yeah,
But
very special.
Mr. Blow, your take is very special. I will tell you that. This was not a take I would expect from many people in your position. So, the weird thing about Starfield is most of the player base is male, but because of year 2020 ideas of equality, half of the evil space pirates are women. The result is a game where dudes fly around the galaxy fictionally doing violence to many, many women, and it feels icky.
All right.
All right, you good?
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Blow. Mr.
Yeah.
Like I gotta be real with you, my man. Jonathan. Listen, my dude. Look. Listen. I believe in equality. Uh, I believe in equality, and that is if these hands are good enough to be thrown at a man, these hands are more than good enough to be thrown at a woman, my dude. Like, come on now, to your 2023, my dog. These hands are rated
Yeah.
E for everybody. Like everybody's getting it. So like,
Or as Batman in Brave and the Bold said, the hands of justice are unisex.
yeah, everybody's getting them. Everybody's getting them. Doesn't matter. So you need to take whatever hangups you have, sir, and hang that shit up because that shit is antiquated as fuck. And if you feel that uncomfortable, then
it's also really weird because he keeps insisting that, yeah, this is a reenactment of a fantasy, which
what
is
fantasy?
the problem for him.
Wait, his
the
fantasy?
of I'm I'm not gonna speculate on that, but I don't know what kind of hangups he has. But
my guy, listen, if you
in
got, all
in
right.
the thread, he eh, in replies to him and all yours, he multiple times mentioned, yeah, this is an enactment of a fantasy, and in his here, where was it? In which one? Yeah, here in his third tweet, I think it was. They think their players have this kind of violent fantasy oriented towards women. Society would regard this as sick if stated explicitly, but because it is implicit, this mistake was somehow made. My guy,
Hey man, hey, listen, listen. I'ma say it. I'ma say it. I'ma say it out loud. I know neither one of us want to go there, but I'ma say it. Jonathan, if you got some weird ass hangups, my dude, you gotta closet that shit before you come on the internet, because now you just outing yourself. You're just outing yourself.
Yeah, he's not saying it. He's not saying it,
He's
but
not saying
he's
it, but we
kind
all
of
know.
projecting it. He's kind of projecting it very loudly, it seems.
So, CD,
Because I don't quite understand. I mean, just not even talking about the whole yeah, this is men on women violence, just putting that aside. Just his talking point of this is an enactment of a fantasy. Why is that a problem? This is an M-rated game.
yeah.
So everyone that's playing it, let's just take just the people that it's rated for. The people playing it,
Are consenting
their
adults.
minds are well enough developed. Yep.
Yeah, they're consenting adults.
17 plus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, more or less consenting adult, mostly consenting adults, 99% or whatever. Obviously, I'm not talking about the people that are gonna get it on the side unofficially, that are younger. That's a different topic. But the people that get this game that are 17 and up usually can distinguish between fantasy and reality in this context.
Yeah, usually.
They know this isn't real.
It's a fucking video game, my guys.
Yeah. And most well-adjusted people will just see, okay, this is a game where I fight against pirates, villains, whatever, groups that are doing stuff. And they're not gonna see, oh, this is a group mostly women that are pirates, and I'm fighting against those. What does that say about me? No. The people that think that go into that direction of, yeah, this hell yeah, I want to beat up women in the game, those have a problem regardless.
Yeah,
If they take that too seriously, those people have a problem regardless. That's not the game's fault. That's the people.
you know, they walked into this experience already with that bugbear. That was already there.
Yeah. Likewise with people that say it's icky that you fight against women. Really? How old are you? 12?
I mean, yeah. But, that's not the only bit of controversy Starfield has gathered up.
Yeah,
so
not the only piece of stupid controversy. This is just the newest one.
So this one was one I haven't really okay, I have to be honest, haven't been checking out the streaming sphere for this one. Starfield isn't my jam, so I haven't been keeping up with my favorite habitat known as Twitch. I left that cage by itself for a bit, and I think I might need to clean that shit out. It's getting a little ravenous in there. While creating a character, players have the option to select their desired pronouns: him, he, him, she, her, or they them, which can be changed at any time. This option has provoked anger from some streamers, included Heel versus Babyface, a streamer with 344,000 YouTube subscribers who went viral on social media for an expletive rant in which he laments that Bethesda Game Studios inserted their ideology into everything we love. Dr. Disrespect. Dr. Disrespect. Everything is starting to make sense.
That's all you need to say.
Yeah,
Dr.
I'm not.
Disrespect.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
That's
no,
all you
I
need
really
to
don't.
say.
I don't feel like I have to really say much. It's Dr. Disrespect. If you're really that
You
surprised,
know what to expect there.
if you're really that surprised that he said some sideways shit, then welcome to the internet. Nina Infinity, I almost refunded any game. I almost refunded my game when Starfield asked me for pronouns, stating in a later post she decided to have her purchase refunded not just because of the pronoun option, but because of glitches she's experienced.
Yeah, she played a Bethesda game, so of course.
Now, I love this article specifically because they bring up a YouTuber I've really started to enjoy a lot, and that's none other than the motherfucking Act Man. That motherfucking Act Man. Criticize Heels versus Babyface for being on the verge of cry because Starfield lets you pick pronouns at the start of the game.
Yeah, his screaming rant was
calling
really
the issue superfluous because he can't recall a single moment where my character's pronouns were brought up. Hutch, a Twitch streamer with 360, called the negative reaction to the pronoun wildly unhinged, noting that selection is simply a single button press to clarify your pronouns as Starfield. Basically, weirdos got really upset about one option in a character creation screen. I would go through more of this article, and it brings me great joy too.
And again, it's a Bethesda game. Obviously, this is just an option at the beginning that's not gonna be of pretty much any consequence in the game.
This is the dumb. This is really dumb. I can't.
Yep.
Y'all,
and people have been arguing on Twitter and ever since about this.
Oh man, it makes me so happy I deactivated my shit. Makes me so happy I deactivated my shit when I did. Almost like I knew that shit was coming. I just didn't want to even see it. I can't believe Bethesda would make Starfield political by adding pronoun. It's I can't even be mad at people saying this because there are people who see that my YouTube sees that my Resobas YouTube channel as a gaming channel, see that I'm black and suddenly think my channel is political. So yeah, I'm not really surprised that people are this dumb. That does not surprise me. I deal with this shit all the time just because of how I look. So yeah, okay, fair. I mean, not fair.
There are still people that claim that every game is inherently political, so
you really can't win. I mean, let alone should you try to win against
which
the
is stupid in itself.
So yeah, congratulations, guys. You made a video game a bigger made a video game a bigger issue than a video game really needs to be. So congratulations on spending the cognitive fucking load to fucking rage about a single button press in a fucking video game. I hope you're fucking happy. Jeez.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you bunch of... I'd call them nerds, but... I feel
the funny thing is, Hogwarts Legacy already has something very similar to that.
Yeah,
so.
And none of these niggas brought their shit up then, so what the fuck? Y'all really picking and choosing here. Y'all really picking and choosing.
The only difference is I think Hogwarts Legacy didn't have a direct entry pronouns, but they still had the possibility of doing stuff like, you have a female body, male voice, and then you have your witch wizard selection, which essentially means, female, male. So
okay.
it's Eh,
Yeah, look, I don't say this often, especially on this
mhm.
show, because I feel like I don't really have a lot of space to say this without necessarily drawing ire. But I feel like this is
Mhm.
the one time I could say it. Y'all niggas need to touch grass. Straight up, touch grass. For real. Like, I shouldn't
Ah,
even be
some
allowed
people
to
really
tell
need to.
somebody that. Like, I shouldn't even be allowed to, but I'm gonna say it. Touch
Mm.
grass.
Some people really need to take a chill pill.
Some people need to drink some fucking water and go outside, cause
Eh.
yeah.
Ah. And not water that's in some wine cooler or something.
Fuck it. At this point, dude, just hydrate. I don't even care. I don't even care that much.
Eh.
Oh goodness. All right.
Yeah.
So we are about 40 minutes. So this episode might go on a little
Mhm.
longer than I planned on.
All right.
But I do want to do everything I planned on for this episode. So,
Mhm.
I might let this episode will be a little longer than usual. So,
Yes.
so I finally get to talk about it. I get to talk about it. I've had it for 2 weeks, MKBHD style.
Mhm.
I wanted to give it 2 weeks. I want to talk about the analog pocket, this little bad boy I've
Mhm.
had for 2 weeks, and some of my feelings about it.
Mhm.
How I feel, how it's been having this device, and how I've been enjoying using it, and some of the things you might want to know if you're going to buy from Analog, because I feel like you probably should know this before you jump in and buy something from them these days. If you buy an Analog device, you might be waiting. I'm sorry, you just these this device specifically is in a weird spot because unlike their other ones where they might do a production run and then that run sells out, they just kept pre-orders open for the Pocket and then
Mhm.
would just go through them and get them out as they could, which meant that
Mhm.
at a certain point they were so far backlogged that there were people that had been waiting a year for their device,
Ah, yeah, that's
which
quite
that's
some
quite
time.
a
Yeah.
bit. Now, I've mentioned it to you, but it
Mhm.
was 8 months until I got my processing order, my processing
Mhm.
email that they were preparing
Yeah,
my order.
and Analog doesn't have the production capacity of Valve, for example.
Yeah, so, you know, I know this has been a topic. I hate Reddit for this because I've been eternally
Mhm.
online with Reddit sometimes and I fucking hate myself for it. It's been a topic of, well, don't take orders unless you have the product. But see
Mhm.
that the problem with that is if they do it that way, then people
Mhm.
bitch and moan that they don't have a chance to get the thing. So,
Mhm.
you know, could it and now to be fair, Analog up until now does not give people even close to exacts about when their order is going to ship. When I ordered mine,
Mhm.
which was in December, it just said 2023. It said your
Mhm.
order's going to ship 2023. No idea when. It's 2023.
Mhm.
So I went in. I knew what I was waiting for, which is fine. That's fine. I knew what I was getting myself into. But I
Mhm.
wanted to address that because there are some people who
Yeah.
are like, why would I
When
wait
people
eight
don't.
months? Why would I wait 8 months if
Uh-huh.
I could buy something right now? Well, we'll get to that. Thank you. All
Mhm.
right. The Analog Pocket is an FPGA piece of hardware that plays Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. And it plays actual cartridges like they would on the original game, like they would on their original consoles. And it has a huge screen. The screen is 10 times the resolution of the original Game Boy screen, which is opulent to say the least. I feel like Kevtris really just I would have loved to have been in that budget meeting when he sourced this screen for this damn thing cuz I feel like that's opulence at its finest. Um Honestly, this has been a really great device.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing I had to get used to was its size because this is much closer to a DMG. Like just in its
Mhm.
general, like it's thinner than a DMG. Obviously, I mean you could look at the profile and see it's not as
Yeah.
thick as a DMG, but its
Mhm.
general rough
So
proportions
there's
from
not
the
that
front,
much difference, probably.
huh?
there's probably not that much difference. It's not like it's half as thick or
Yeah,
something.
it's a DMG. It's a proportions,
Mm-hmm.
rough proportions of a DMG, which isn't something I was
Mm-hmm.
used to. So it took me a little bit of time to get used to holding it. It's
Mm-hmm.
also, gonna be honest, it's a bit heavier than I thought. It's actually a wee bit heavier than I was ready for when I took it out. I was like, this thing is actually has some fucking weight on it. Jesus. It is fantastic. It is really nice. They give you a bunch of display modes for Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy
Mm-hmm.
Advance. You can mess with screen sizing within the screen, so how the screen is proportioned on the screen. That's
Mm-hmm.
also really
Aspect
nice.
ratio and all, probably.
Yeah, they let you mess around with like color palettes. Now, all the
Mm-hmm.
things I'm talking about, these are primarily for cartridges. As of about a year ago, they implemented a patch, a jail. Well, I call it a jailbreak. It's not even a jailbreak patch at this
Mm-hmm.
point. They,
The homebrew
it's
patch,
yeah,
essentially.
it's a homebrew patch. It
Homebrew.
allows you to use that second FPGA core and put other cores on it, and then run
Mm-hmm.
ROMs, which I did do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the cores that you get that are recommended, the feature set
Mm-hmm.
those cores have are drastically less than what the device has when playing carts. But that's to be expected to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily expect as many features out of a core as I do from this device when it comes to that. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And there's also adapters available for it for
yeah,
other cartridges.
there's the Game Gear adapter, which I
Game
think you
Gear?
can, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
actually three other adapters that are currently on
Yeah, the
pre-order
Neo
in a
Geo
set,
Pocket, Pocket Color, and the Atari Lynx.
which, with my experience with their devices, I have
Mm-hmm.
the Mega SG and the Master System adapter, and
Mm-hmm.
it plays fucking Fantasy Star really well. So the
Mm-hmm.
adapter works. They when it comes down to adapting these things to be able to run different kinds of things on a single device, it runs really well. And the cores on this actually are really good. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at least from what I've ran, I mean, running the base things like it does Nintendo, Sega, SNES, obviously the handheld stuff. I've tried SNES and it runs really well. So
Mm-hmm.
I was mildly surprised the SNES stuff ran so well because I'm like, damn, that's really nice.
Nice.
Let me just
Uh-huh.
say, and my general opinion of this device is I really dig it, right? But I also have to say that your mileage with a device like this varies very greatly. I
Mm-hmm.
tell people outright, if you aren't someone with a bunch of carts, right? If you don't actually own a bunch of carts, Game Boy carts, or
Mm-hmm.
GBA cards that you really want to play, this is not a device for you. I I don't think it is. I don't necessarily think this is a great use of $220. Oh no.
You know what's one reason why SNES, for example, runs good on it?
Why?
It's the same CPU than the Super NT.
Ah.
It's the Altera Cyclone V in both. The Pocket just has the Altera Cyclone 10 additionally on
Oh.
it, which is probably used for the lower uh, end stuff.
Yeah. So your mileage varies. If you already have carts, or you're
Mm-hmm.
just someone like me who has a bunch of handheld games because you grew up with the shit, and you want to go back and play your old fucking video games like the Pokemon games or other games you own, I'm gonna say it. This is gonna be a hot take. I
Mm-hmm.
probably will not pick up an original device again. I don't really have like
Yeah.
I'm not I don't have a need to pick up like one of my old GBAs with this.
Yeah.
I don't
And there's
really
really no need to ruin your eyes by going with the original DMG anymore.
Yeah, like that's not really a thing. I don't necessarily think the value proposition holds up great if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking to play ROM. If you're someone that like really leans into ROMs, I feel like if you're just wanting to play a bunch of handheld systems, there's probably cheaper
How,
alternatives. I know there
how
might
much did
be
it cost? What was it?
220.
Uh
It's
huh.
a price a little more than I feel like. I don't know, man. I just to
Yeah.
me, if I didn't already have cards, this wouldn't have been a purchase. But I own
Mm-hmm.
multiple games I really want to play, and I've even bought a few extras. Even bought a few
Mm-hmm.
others since I ordered this because I was looking forward to it. If your goal isn't to play carts for the most part, I I hesitate to question the value for you with this device. I, some people have more money than sense, and those people are probably already gonna buy it anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking to you guys. You all know what group you sit in, so you all just sit in your
Mm-hmm.
corner. But I don't necessarily see the value there. So, but
Yeah, it
value is
always depends on what you would use as an alternative to it for
yeah, and
emulation.
and that's the yeah. See, that's the thing, right? I could
Mm-hmm.
definitely. I think the screen by itself puts it in this
Mm-hmm.
really nice place where it's really hard to say no
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
like.
Because while yeah, you could get one of those mobile controllers, for example, and then use your phone. But if you want a standalone device for it, then I'm not
Um,
sure if there's that. I'm not sure what's available in that regard,
there's quite a few.
which
There's
is
quite a
of
few.
that quality. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this quality.
Mm-hmm.
You could find some pretty decent stuff like handheld
Mm-hmm.
emulating devices that are all right. They're not,
Mm-hmm.
they all have their ups and downs, and they all have that
Mm.
this kind of problem where like they all have something that isn't quite right with them, and then the new one comes
Mm-hmm.
out and it either fixes it but has a different problem with it, and yeah, it's this never-ending cycle. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um. Also, something I found ever amusing is that this thing has a link cable port for linking up.
Yeah.
I just thought that was amusing. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's so unnecessary. Like okay, to put it into like perspective, how unnecessary that is. There's been a lot of
Mm-hmm.
third-party N64 controllers that have been released over the last few years that like redesigned the
Mm-hmm.
N64 controller to be more modern, and they work with the Rumble Pack, but they don't work with the transfer pack that was needed for like Pokemon Stadium, right?
Ah, okay.
Which I always thought was like this weird leaving out thing, but they all leave it out. They're
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, it works with the Rumble Pack and the memory cards, but it will not work with the
Uh-huh.
transfer pack for Pokemon Stadium. And I'm like,
Okay,
okay, but
but the transfer pack is probably just for Pokemon Stadium,
yeah,
right?
basically.
Uh-huh.
Like I
I mean,
get,
sure, the link cable isn't for many games either, but it's probably easily added, that port.
yeah. So that's just something I found to be amusing that they even
And
had a link cable port, because
I mean, it's
that's
probably more likely that you have people that want to trade Pokemon through that than people wanting to transfer stuff with Pokemon Stadium.
yeah. Now that you mention it, yeah, I could definitely, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. My general review of this device, I dig it.
Mhm. Hmm.
And I've seen a lot of reviews for it. Obviously, if you're not someone that thinks your hands are going to be very comfortable with the
Mhm.
GMG sizing, then you might not like it. I've seen a few reviews where people
Mhm.
are like, "This is the worst purchase I've ever made." Kind of hyperbolic for my taste,
Yeah,
a little hyperbolic for my taste, but
sounds like it. Yeah.
it gets clicks, so I get it.
Mhm.
Only other thing, and it hasn't affected me because I don't use it. They have
Mhm.
shoulder buttons. They're kind of
The shoulder
small.
buttons.
The
Yeah.
shoulder buttons.
Mhm.
Okay, so real talk, I don't use shoulder
Mm-hmm.
buttons on most of my hand. Like I rarely ever use a shoulder buttons on a Game
Mm-hmm.
Boy Advance. I
I mean,
just
they're
don't.
only in use for the GBA stuff, right?
Yeah, basically.
I think that's when they started to do that.
Yeah, so they're a
Mm-hmm.
bit small. I don't find them that
Uh-huh.
difficult to click, but I'm also not
Mm-hmm.
currently using them. And whenever the GBA games I have don't really utilize
Mm-hmm.
them, that
Uh-huh.
might be a deal breaker for you if you're
Uh-huh.
someone who's going to be playing like F-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
But you
They
could
also
also,
feel different from the front buttons, from what I've read, right?
yeah,
Uh-huh.
because the front
They're not that
buttons,
clicky.
yeah, the front
Yeah,
buttons,
they.
they have a bit
Mm-hmm.
of a click, but it's not as
Mm-hmm.
pronounced as
Yeah,
the
they're
front
not.
buttons.
They're probably not micro switches like the front buttons.
So,
Just
you know,
regular.
that
Mm-hmm.
can be a bit of a problem if that's
Mm.
something that you care
Yeah,
about.
or at least have that in mind when
Yeah.
you decide.
As of the most recent firmware, uh, it does save states now, which is pretty
Oh,
nice.
cool.
And I think it's somewhere in the ballpark of like 100 save states per game
Nah, neat.
as a limit. But like, if you're,
Mhm.
if you're,
But I'm guessing that it saves them on the micro SD card
correct.
and not internally. Hmm.
Yeah. So,
That's good.
they also implemented their new firmware. I guess their new like
Hmm.
OS, like analog OS now. It's
Hmm.
very. The launch version was pretty bare bones. The version now that it's
Hmm.
been updated a few times is actually
Uh-huh.
pretty nice. Has quite a few features
So they
with it.
didn't have that. So before they just had it start right up and done.
No, it had like an options man. It had like options and menus, but it
Hmm.
wasn't like an OS. It was just like
Hmm.
opening up like an options menu for any
Okay.
device or something. But you could boot
Hmm.
to it. This is no different than like the other ones I own, where you can choose to have it boot
Uh-huh.
into analog OS or just boot up directly to the cartridge that's inside of it. So
Hmm.
you have that option. I just have it boot to analog
Okay.
OS because sometimes I might just want to load a save state. Maybe
Hmm.
I maybe I
Without
save
first starting up the
yeah,
game.
maybe I save stated. Also, it does sleep function
Hmm.
for
Okay.
for
Cool.
carts specifically, but
Uh-huh.
not EverDrives like flash carts, the ones that have.
Okay.
So regular carts, all you gotta do is press the power button. Don't hold on, you just press it,
Mm-hmm.
and it will put the cart
Ah.
into sleep mode. It will
Okay.
put the device into sleep mode.
Cool.
So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I've actually used. Battery life on
Mm-hmm.
this thing is pretty good, but you know
Mm-hmm.
that's really based on like volume and screen brightness and you know
Officially, it's around 6 to 10 hours from what they
yeah,
say.
and I'm probably pushing around 7, give
Mm-hmm.
or take. Around 7? I think I'm pushing around 7 hours, roughly speaking. But I
Sweet.
also have the brightness cranked at around like 75, 80. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah, you can get more out of it then, definitely.
If I was more reasonable with
Yeah.
my screen brightness, I'd probably pull more.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, given that it's a 1440p screen.
yeah, no, it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret the I've actually been taking this with me for certain situations
Mm-hmm.
where like bringing my Switch just doesn't seem appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like situations where like maybe having my giant ass Switch at a table just doesn't seem appropriate, but having a Game Boy does. So this
Mm-hmm.
has been my take with me device. And
It's
also,
probably also a bit smaller than the Switch Lite.
yeah, it's much smaller than a Switch
Mm-hmm.
Lite, but I haven't had a Switch Lite in quite a while. I've had a full
Mm-hmm.
size Switch because
Yeah, the
because
OLED Switch.
OLED screen, dude. I
Yeah,
can't go
which is
back.
yeah, which is even let's say full size plus
Yeah,
compared to the original. It's a
I
bit
can't.
bigger, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's a
was that
bit.
the same size but just the screen part bigger?
It's probably the same size. It's just that the viewable
Mm-hmm.
screen has been
Yeah,
increase. They
right. Yeah,
took
that it has
some of the
a bit
bezels,
less of a
bezel,
bezel.
the
Mm-hmm.
bezel, some of the
Yeah,
internal
right.
bezels have been
Yeah, right.
taken away. So you're getting more
Mm-hmm.
visible screen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's the same size when you
yeah,
have it in hand. Yeah,
but
that's fine.
believe
Mm-hmm.
me, you feel it. It's felt.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I would not
Yeah.
be preaching the OLED Switch as hard as I do if I didn't
Mm-hmm.
feel that shit.
It's an OLED screen. I know OLED screens.
Yeah, so I dig it. I like the device.
Mm-hmm.
Do I necessarily enjoy the idea that I was waiting 8 months? No,
Yeah.
but like I said, I expectations is everything, and if you might
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure you understand where your expectations should be before you order it. But I would also hesitate. I don't like making this comparison because I don't really think that this is. I don't think comparing what Analog does to like a Kickstarter finally shipping their item is even comparable because you're not
Mm-hmm.
funding an item. You're buying something
Yeah.
and then waiting for them to get it to you. I don't feel
You're
like that's
actually ordering it, and yeah,
yeah.
they
I don't feel
it's
like
getting
that's.
done.
I don't feel like that's
Yeah.
comparable. Um,
Yeah. No, this is more like the Steam Deck, for
yeah.
example. They present it, you order it, and you get it when you get it.
But like I said with my Steam Deck, dude, I ordered that bitch. That bitch was at my
Mm-hmm.
doorstep within 6 days. Fuck, I still will. I still can't get over that shit. But yeah, that's my review. We're sitting at an hour, so let's jump into that our last segment for this show before we wrap shit up.
Righty.
And this week, I chose what I think to be a relatively interesting thing was games that we keep coming back to even if we don't always beat them. It's just the fucking games that we
You
just
mean even after we beat them?
yeah.
Right?
Oh, even after we
Mm-hmm.
beat them.
Yeah.
There's a reason I had the other caveat there, and I'll get to that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you worry. Games that we
Mm-hmm.
come back to even after we beat them. We come back, we start a new file, we start over from scratch. We have hundreds of other games, but we keep coming back to these motherfuckers. So, I feel
Or do
like
a new game plus. I mean, you could count that as well.
yeah, I keep coming back to Pokemon, but I'm gonna come back to Pokemon again because this is another time, but it's not red and blue; it's gold and silver. I swear to God, CD, if I had $1 for every time as a kid, I would beat silver and then want to replay it to try some new team out or to try some new idea out and then replay that shit and then replay that shit, try out new teams, see if I can like sequence break and get certain Pokemon a little earlier. Dude, I probably played through silver and gold so many fucking times as a kid. Oh, holy shit, dude. Like Pokemon Gold and Silver are just those games that I would just go back to. And once I get done with my Gen 1 mission, motherfuckers, Gen 2 is next. And we gonna talk about that. Don't you worry. But yeah, no, Pokemon Gold and Silver, I could have played so many other games, but those were the ones I just kept coming back to. No matter what I could be playing, I would boot up Gold or Silver, start a new game, and I'm off to the races for however long it takes me to get my ass through it. And sometimes, depending on how zealous I was, I really went for completion. Sometimes. Not often, though, but sometimes.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah, it's not a short. If you're going for completion, that is not a short take. But yeah, that's my first
Especially
one.
if you're in the later games.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh my God. Once the DS games came around and they started tracking hours beyond a certain amount, you saw like save files like 250 hours or something. I'm like, can't imagine. Can't be me. Can't be me. Couldn't do it. You're up, CD. You're up.
Well,
games you come back to.
My first one is gonna be pretty obvious for people that know me.
Okay. All right.
Pretty much any of the Disgaea games.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know why
It
that
could
didn't
be
cross my mind. Don't know
it
why I
could be
had to.
either just going through it again with a new game plus, or with some games even starting it up again from scratch. Like if it's a port, for example, for the PC, the first Disgaea one when it came out, yep, buy it, boot it up, go through it again.
My
Just
dude.
that good, those games.
My dude. Yeah, I
Yeah.
am overdue for a Disgaea 4 replay.
Mm-hmm.
Cause my
Oh
man
yeah.
Valvatores, every time, my dude, my man Valvatores and his homeboy Fenric, every
You
time.
get you need to get more sardines.
Every fucking time. There are some dynamic duos in video games I love to death, and Valvatores and Fenric are just perfect.
Mm.
One of the games I picked was
Mhm.
one I've talked about it a little bit on the show. I never go into
Mhm.
much detail about it, but I have mentioned it. And it's a game I've said I've another game in this franchise I've beaten more, but I've put more hours into this one. Yeah, figure
Mhm.
that one out. Yeah, mathematically figure that shit out. And that is Final Fantasy VIII. I have
Mhm.
beaten 7 more
8.
times.
Huh.
I have
Okay.
beaten 7 more times than I can count. But I guarantee you, I
Mhm.
have put more combined hours into just playing 8. Not beating it, motherfucker. Playing it.
Mhm.
I don't know why this particular one is the one I keep coming back to as my bugbear. I
Mhm.
thought I
Yeah,
was over.
that's certainly a controversial choice, I'd
Yeah.
say.
Oh, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like my
Mhm.
obsession with 7 for those few years, nobody really questioned me on, right? Me having a love affair with Final Fantasy 9,
Mhm.
people applauded me for. This take
Yeah,
with
but
Final
then
Fantasy.
when they hear you're playing 8 again? What?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, yeah, no, believe me. I
Mhm.
would go back, like I could beat 7 with my eyes closed, but every time I
Mhm.
played 8, I would always find something new. I would always
Mhm.
find some like random NPC in a town with a text box dialogue that I had just never thought about, and I was like, "What?" Like,
So it's
okay,
kind of like an archaeological dig for you. You want to see everything in detail.
like the Galbadian Garden, there is a
Mhm.
random dude near the hockey rink, and
Mhm.
he tells you that the Galbadian hockey team are fucking monsters. No, no, not like big dudes who wreck people on the rink.
Do you mean literally fucking
Actually
monsters?
fucking monsters. Actual fucking
Hmm.
monsters. And by the way, according to him, they have killed people.
Mhm. So essentially, their league is the Blood Bowl.
Yeah. They're living Blood Bowl for real.
Hmm.
But there's so
Hmm.
many like random text boxes in this fucking game of like lore and shit that once you read it, you just you just cannot get that shit out of your head. That shit is nightmare fuel. So when you invade that garden and you
Mhm.
run through the hockey rink, the monsters you are fighting in that hockey rink are fucking hockey players. They are dudes in
Mhm. Of course.
Galbadian fucking hockey wear.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah,
Oh!
he wasn't lying.
Or the fact that like there's a Jabba the Hutt like character in the basement of Balam Garden and it's
Hmm.
never really explained.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You go there, surprise.
I don't think like my goal this time around is just to talk to everybody and see if it's ever explained because Final Fantasy VIII
Haven't found
with
one explanation yet, huh?
Final Fantasy VIII story does not explain this shit. He's just there.
It would be interesting to know if maybe the original explains it, if that's a change from in the localization.
I hope so.
Because I mean, from what I know, the localization changed quite a bit.
Yeah. Like you find out that this guy helped to fund the garden. Like he helped pay for its funding, right? But yeah, like yeah, people help to fund fucking Apple, but they don't live at the fucking building. They don't live out of the fucking
As far
basement.
as we know.
Yeah,
Far as we know. I mean, it's a whole Apple campus, so
yeah, who knows?
who knows what's going on there?
Final Fantasy VIII is a game that no matter how many times I've gone back to it, I always find some weird, new, fucked up piece of lore in a random NPC text box that just leaves me flabbergasted for a month. Every time, dude. It just never fucking fails. Every time I come back to this fucking video game. Holy shit. I'm gonna need to fucking process this shit now. I remember the fucking Galbadian hockey team being monster shit. Thanks a lot for that. Okay. Yeah, you go. I gotta process this shit now. Thanks.
All right, so we are gonna be making a switch to a completely different genre, one that we visited last time as well. The LucasArts adventures, or more generally point-and-click adventures from that time. I do tend to, from time to time, go back to them and replay them.
And they hold
every
up?
few years or some. Yeah.
They hold up?
Actually,
I never asked you. What did you think? Did you ever try out the remaster or remake of Monkey Island that they put out? Didn't they put out a remake of Monkey Island or some bullshit? Wasn't there?
Yeah,
there
was one, but I've never played that one. Yeah, I never played that one because when I looked at the pictures,
the art style
art style was not a good choice. That was not a good choice.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The game itself holds up, but that remaster thing, nah. Just go with the old. And I think there's because that one has a talkie version. And I think someone made a patch or something like that takes the voices and puts them in the version with the old graphics. To kind of make it the optimal version, because in the game, I think it's called 20th Anniversary Edition or something like that, you can switch between the graphic styles, but when you switch to the old style, it also switches off the voiceovers. For whatever reason. And someone made a patch for that to fix that.
Well, thank goodness for that.
Yeah. But in general, I think they do hold up, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle, the Monkey Islands, The Dig. I really like that one. Didn't want to go with the pun there, although I was tempted.
I could tell. I could tell. Trust me. It's written all over your face. I could tell.
And which other one? Yeah, Sam and Max Hit the Road. That's a really fun one.
Is Grim Fandango one of them, or is that a different developer?
That was a LucasArts adventure game, yeah, but that's actually one that I still need to play, because that came out in that time when I haven't been keeping up to date with adventures. Because that was the time when they went 3D with tank controls and all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the time I just went.
And
pass.
As someone who has experience with at least one point-and-click adventure game on my YouTube channel by the name of Memento Mori,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3D is not always the best.
3D can work fine if you can use your regular mouse and keyboard point and click controls. But if you're limited to tank controls, nah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
nah.
tried out Broken Sword 3 a while ago. Ugh. Just with that game has the additional problem of really not looking nice with that
Yeah,
art
that's
with
what
the
I've
3D art style.
I've never been attached to that one. Broken Sword
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2
Yeah,
are
they
like
are.
peak
Yeah.
performance, but Broken Sword
Mm-hmm.
3, every time
Yeah.
I'm even tempted to
I
pick that one
tried to
up,
play it and ugh.
it's every time I go to
No.
pick that one up, I see screenshots of it. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nah.
maybe not.
The art
Maybe
style
I'll.
and then the tank controls and it's not just the tank controls. If you're on a keyboard, the controls are terrible.
They're that bad,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah. Because I have no idea what they thought with the key placements, what to use there. And from what I remember, there's no official gamepad support on the PC version either, which is weird because I think the one of the reasons for those controls was that it was a console game as well. So that was really busted. There's probably a way to remap the controls, not in the game, but you'll have to use external methods for that. Like, for example, remap them on to the gamepad. But yeah, nah, that one is very rough.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to the next Broken Sword that's been announced, though.
Oh, really? There's another one?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, they recently announced one. I mean, they had the fourth game as well, which was also a bit of like the third one, a bit of a problem. And then they had five with the Kickstarter, which went back to the traditional ways. And just recently, they announced the next one
Huh.
alongside a sort of another remaster of the first one,
Oh, even better.
which
Maybe.
remasters the graphics to 4K.
will
And
they
I think the audio is also getting a remaster with that.
will they at least make like okay? So
Mm-hmm.
there's one puzzle in Broken Sword
Mm-hmm.
1. The goat.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Nah, that's staying there. That's staying there. You just have to get used to it. Because I mean, once you're used to it, it's not a problem.
Once you know how
You
to
only
get
have to
past
figure
it.
it out once.
I love that though.
But yeah,
I do.
that's absolutely yeah.
That's some point and click bullshit right there. Straight up point and click
Mm-hmm.
bullshit. Like
Yeah.
love you to
Honestly,
death,
with a few
Broken Sword.
people, yeah. In a podcast that I listen to, Stay Forever. It's a German podcast that talks about old games. They actually made that a category of puzzle for adventure games. The
the,
goat
the,
puzzle.
the goat puzzle.
Like, this game has a goat puzzle because it's just so bad. And yeah, that one just sticks in your mind.
So my last game is one I've not talked about much on this show, but
Mm-hmm.
it's one of like the core elements of my RPG life growing up, and that is
Mm.
Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for
Ah.
PS1. But the reason I
Mm.
come back to this game is a little bit the same as 8. Is every time I come back to it,
Mm-hmm.
I learned something I did not
Mm.
realize the first time, and then my understanding of the game expands, and then I'm like, oh my god, this game is way more than I thought it was going to be. Because
Mm-hmm.
this game has its own fuck you moment. And I'm gonna explain that I'm gonna explain the fuck you moment. Okay.
All right.
So
Listening.
there are two I think there's two hot springs that you can go to
Mm-hmm.
in the game,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you a special cutscene. Now, what you find out is one hot spring is for the dudes, The other hot
Mm,
spring
mm-hmm.
is for the ladies. Okay,
I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
so, okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
The game, by happenstance, in order to use in order to use the hot springs, you have to have an item called soap. So you have to have a bar of soap.
Mm-hmm.
Now the game will give you 1 bar of soap. It will
Mm-hmm.
give it to you. Now, players that don't know any better might just assume that you'll just be able to get another bar of soap through the progression of the video game. Right? At some point, I should be able to obtain another bar of soap.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. that is very wrong. There is only one place you can get a bar of soap, and that is fairly early in the game during your very first boat ride. You have to go below the deck and go to the shop owner, and he sells bars of soap. That is the only place you can get another bar of soap. And once you leave once you progress the story and leave the ship, you can never go back onto the ship.
So you get one from the game somehow, and then you can get more there.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Or buy
So
another
essentially,
one.
if you don't know, you can buy it there, or don't, or miss that. You only have one, but there are 2
Yeah.
hot springs. Mm-hmm.
So when I figured that out, because I didn't know, right? I did not know that, and I accidentally triggered the one for the dudes because the devs are assholes, and I mean this wholeheartedly.
That's the one that you meet first, probably.
Yes. And because the devs are assholes that made this game, they made getting to the all-girl hot spring fucking difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was thinking of.
Oh my god, the encounters getting to that fucking hot spring are fucking brutal. Jesus Christ. It's like, oh, you want to be a perv? Okay, be a perv. You gonna have to earn it though. This game also, so a little bit about this game. The game was made. This game was localized by a company by the name of Working Designs here in America. And Working Designs has a couple of things that they're well known for. One, bringing these games to America, and 2, fucking with shit that does not need to be fucked with. If you are remotely familiar with what the community has now called the unworking design patches for their games, have you heard about these? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so the community created patches that undo the majority of the difficulty modding and bullshit that Working Design did to the games when they brought them over.
When they localized it.
Yeah, when they localized the fucking video game.
Yeah, because they went about as batshit crazy with the changes like they did with their voiceovers and all that.
Yeah.
The dialogue.
Yeah. For Lunar specifically, the game is really not forgiving. If you're not on your A game, the game is fucking brutal. But then
when you play the original, it's probably just yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Apparently, one last thing. I should probably mention this because I think this is hilarious. Oh, where is it? Right here. Okay. So, a few years ago, there was a debate between me and some friends about this book. This is the official Lunar Silver Star Story guide from Working Designs. So the debate,
of course,
was that because you can only get this book by ordering it from the back of the instruction manual because it was made by Working Designs. So because none of us had ever ordered it, and up until the last handful of years, I had never seen this book end up on eBay, and then magically, as if a switch had been flipped, in the last few years, motherfuckers was flooded with these. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
100% sure what happened here, but
Maybe they become superfluous because the patches are out.
yeah. And this book helped me to
Mm-hmm.
understand some aspects of the game, such as the fact that the game is it has a level of scaling for bosses. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all off of multipliers off the main character's stats.
Uh-huh.
So the boss's stats are based off of multipliers off the main character's stats, which means the game is dissuading you from grinding because the more you level
Mm-hmm.
up, the stronger the boss is going to be. So
Mm-hmm.
get good or get dead. And believe me, the game has no
Mm-hmm.
trouble in getting you dead. You getting dead's easy.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally got my hands on this, and
I wonder if that multiplier was in the original.
unfortunately, I don't like to use this book because the binding
Mm-hmm.
on it isn't the greatest. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's slightly coming undone, so I don't usually open this too much.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the fact I went through so much to get the book, but I'm just kind of happy it's part of the collection because I've always kind of fucking wanted it as part of the
Mm-hmm.
collection. But yes, working design are assholes, and the only downside of them going out of business in 2003 is the fact
Mm-hmm.
that we will never see that version of Lunar Silver Star Story in any form ever again. And by that version, I mean that version of the game. Like, we've had one for
Mm-hmm.
PSP, but that was done by, I think, Xseed?
Mm-hmm.
It was translated and redone by Xseed, which, I mean,
Ah, okay.
it's alright. Like, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is really just based on how which one you prefer. I preferred the PS1 version of the game and
Mm-hmm.
its take on the characters and the one musical song that Luna sings on the boat. I like that version versus the one they did. The opening theme song that's also voiced, I prefer the PS1 version versus the one that they
Mm-hmm.
translated it to. It's all preference. But again,
My speculation is that the Xseed version is far closer to the original than
yeah, it probably
the
is.
unworking one.
I it probably is. I don't.
You could say that the working design version is the MST3K version of it.
Yeah, they really took the piss with this game
It's the
sometimes.
Italian cut.
Yeah, it's I have nothing but sheer nostalgia to this game,
Mhm.
but oof, there's a Clinton
Yeah.
reference in this fucking video game. There's a straight up Clinton reference in this fucking video game. You want to talk about political in video games? You ain't really gonna get more political than that.
Mhm.
It is, it is, it's special. It's special, believe
Mhm.
me. I acknowledge,
Yeah, special is, I think, the correct word.
I acknowledge my nostalgia. You're up, CD. Bases are
Mhm.
loaded.
Let's see here. I think I'll go with Tyrion 2000 next. It's
Actually, a
a
really good fucking
fun
video
little
game.
top-down shooter, and I really do tend to enjoy playing that now and again. And I've definitely beaten that one a few times. It's an yeah, because I always tend to play through it and then at the end have some fun with the carrot ship.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
the game itself is straight. It plays it straight. Everything. It's sort of just a basic mercenary story where you I think you've been tricked by a company, and then you have to correct that mistake and save the people and save a planet and whatever else, or save multiple planets and go up against an evil corporation. And then at some point, at near the end or so, or through an unlock, you get a ship that's a carrot that can fire all kinds of stuff like bananas, oranges, whatever else kind of weapons.
Okay, hold on. I want to just. I need you to elaborate here. Is this a ship
Yeah.
that's shaped like a carrot, or is this a
It's
carrot?
essentially a giant carrot. It's essentially a ship that's a giant carrot that you sit in.
Oh, that's amazing! I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. It's great.
Yeah. I'll give you the visualization.
Why don't every
here.
video? How come every video game doesn't just do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would
Fuck it.
like it to be like that as well.
Fuck it, dude. Fuck it, dude. Just go
There you go.
completely unhinged. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is this? Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you weren't capping at all, were you? Shit. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a giant carrot.
I didn't play
Firing bananas is
I
spread
didn't
gun.
play Tyrion, but I played Raptor.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a nice 2D shooter as well
That's
from
the
that
one.
time.
That's the one I grew up with. I didn't play Tyrion. I played Raptor was the one that my dad
I
got
played
me
the
to
demo
play.
version of Raptor a bit, but the one that really stuck with me was Tyrion 2000. Originally Tyrion and then Tyrion 2000, which, yeah, that one also got a port for the DS,
Oh.
as in not an official game release, but a homebrew version.
And also,
And that actually works on the DS.
Also, that particular game was actually covered by our good friend Megan G. Wolf on Pixelated Memories. A link in the description. Plug for him. I'm sure he'll appreciate the
Good
plug.
thought there. Yes.
Sure,
Definitely.
he'll appreciate the plug.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna give an honorable mention to one last game before I wrap up the show. And that honorable mention is StarCraft.
Yeah.
The StarCraft campaign. Because as a kid, I didn't understand a lot of the nuances that was taking place with the plot. As an adult, bruh, these people are 18 shades of fucked up.
Yep.
Bruh. Bruh, you are all terrible people. Every single fucking one of you. Jim Raynor,
maybe Jim Raynor.
Yeah, Jim Raynor's like the closest you're gonna get to like an actual good guy. And even that is a little murky for him. Like okay, he's a good guy when you put him next to like Arcturus Minx or General Duke. Like, compared to them, he's a fucking saint. But I would also make the argument that if you're comparing him to them,
that's a low bar.
Yeah, that's ooh.
That's a low bar to jump.
The StarCraft campaign is one I go back to like once a year, and I'll just binge my ass through it. And then by the time I get to the Protoss, I am fucking emotionally drained from the shit I had to do as a Zerg. I'll be honest with you. I am emotionally drained. Kerrigan makes me feel a certain way about humanity, and I'm not okay with it. And then I get to the Protoss, and it's like emotional damage all the way. Every character has some kind of emotional damage they are just trying to cope with. And I don't have the cognitive battery for that shit.
At first you think, boy, their ways are kind of drastic, their solutions. But then you get to it and you see, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Yeah. But it's also, I think StarCraft does a great job of like perspective, right? Because when you're playing as like Terran or Zerg, you look at the Protoss as being these alien fucking unknowable fucking Cthulhu fucking laser sword wielding assholes that like fucking crater entire planets on a fucking whim. But then
Yep,
you play
and
as
then you play as them, and you see why.
and you play as them, and you're like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys aren't that bad after all. Maybe I just didn't take the time to
Not
understand
all
you
that
guys.
black and white.
And I don't want to talk about Brood War. I don't want to talk about Brood War. I do not want to talk about Brood War. We can talk about it on a different show when I have the cognitive load to talk about fucking Brood War.
That would be an episode just about that.
I don't have the emotional capacity to talk about the fucked up shit Alexei makes you do in Brood War. Alexei is a sociopath. Straight up. He has no cares, no feelings, nothing. This man experimented with a whole colony of Zerg in a military force just to see how the military would do, and then he fucking left them there. Nah, sociopath, villain.
Nope, out of here. My job is done.
Absolute sociopath. And you know, fuck it. I don't care. I don't care at all. Fuck you if you haven't played Brood War. I'll tell you how the Terran campaign ends. This motherfucker puts a gun in his mouth. And I think he deserved worse. Hot take of the week.
The easy way out.
Yeah, hot take of the week. He should have been torn to shreds by a Hydralisk. Dead to rights. And I will die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.